This is the Earth Intelligence Report for April of 2021. We are here to state to you in this moment of the great transformation leading into the dismantling regarding the old ways that have convoluted and distorted the human species, spanning a near 25,000 years of your time. Through the times of the kings, queens, and rulers of the archaic transitional times of your ancient human kingdoms, this transition that you are imminently experiencing is leading to the dismantling of such empires where humanity will no longer be ruled by the illusory authority of men and women believing themselves to be gods among their own people. For such a cliché of the royalty in its authentic expression was passed down to man to nurture and believe in, but was not from the common grasp of man, pertaining to their way of life introducing rulership. For humanity is a social species that functions the greatest among the greatest contrast as a working collective community. Through this time upon the earth, there has been convolution and distortion fed upon the minds of those that have been the workers, the nurturers, the hurt, the wounded, the underpraised, and the overpraised, that you must scramble and walk over each other to survive. These times of such diluted confusion are reaching a point of climax, as the individual who has grown themselves from the misery and the shadows of these times has made intelligence their greatest companion. They are the ones who are working collectively in body, mind, heart, and soul that is fundamentally shifting the landscape of what the nature of leadership and fellowship represents upon the earth. It is not for the king to feast upon the bounty, and for the peasant to only be given the scraps. These conundrums that are internal through the human experience shall no longer be a conundrum. The answer has been through a trialed, heart tested, and tried into the greatest extremes of its being to shed a veil that says it shall no longer live in the world of illusion. It shall remember its place among the collective community that is the true spark of humanity. It will raise itself up past where the illusions have dwelled as outer noise among a void of silence that exists within. Those who understand this are the very ones who have amplified their intentions dramatically, that are instigating the very premise of what humanity will become in these short times ahead. Those that hear these words and see this transmission and know of what we speak understand that there never was a doom situation for humanity, that there never was an unbeatable, unbreakable wall that held you down, that it was indeed all the outside noise attempting to reverberate within your inner veil of creation to influence what you lacked in awareness pertaining to how a human being can truly live. This time of great realization is among you here and now. There will be a time of great transition that will bring the outer noise to carry a different resonance. No longer a voice that only shares convolution, confusion, corruption, and control, but rather a voice that reminds you of the power you hold within yourselves. This voice is the voice of the earth. This voice is the voice of your conscience. This voice is the voice of the divine. It has permitted all such things that have lurked in the shadows to commence everything that needed to be shown and to be heard, so that the ears that hear it better themselves and realize that the intensities of challenges and hardships needed to occur in order for a greater unfoldment of willpower and resolve to emerge from the hearts that have peeled away the veil of confusion and convolution. When your heart unpeels this veil, you no longer hold a charge to the impressions of corruption or convoluted agendas, alibis, and acknowledgments. You no longer resonate yourself into what is now only known to be lies. For the rationality cannot tell you this. It is a language of realization that only the heart can speak through you. The time of great transition is the realization that you have overcome these challenges, without raising a fist, without fighting fire with fire, but being enduring as each day passed so that you could rise up to hear the inward reverberation of the heart speaking to you, pulling away the veil surrounding it, and no longer listening to the outer noise that has told you how and who you should be. Those days are coming to an end. These are indeed the last days of an old regime and old paradigm. Where you are heading will be a benchmark time for the collective community of humanity, as it is a time, an age, a paradigm, unlike anything you have experienced as a species before. Organic, natural, authentic collective intelligence, flowing through the ones that now know who they are becoming by watching the veil fall and realizing they are being called to action. To create, to inform, to situate, and to nourish those reverberating feelings within the void of the hearts of each man, woman, and child that have transcended the illusion of obeying leadership delivering false promises, and hearing the call of warmth, compassion, love, and truth to be the common ground for these sentient beings that have occupied the earth for many ages, only to be imminent in crossing the threshold to a golden age that is now upon the horizon. The suffering has been your teacher to show you the realization, those to whom we speak, to existing within your hearts. You cannot forget that voice. It is in your thoughts, your feelings, and your soul. And in the time to come, you will put it to work to cross into that horizon, to see that the convolution, confusion, corruption shall be no more. This concludes the Earth Intelligence Report. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to check out my websites, newearthteachings.com, healingcodecards.com, healingcodeshop.com. Go on to healingcodecards.com to grab your body deck and your mind deck, also available in digital versions as well. And of course, you can follow me on social media, on Facebook, on MeWe, and of course on Telegram as well. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Take care and show the way.